did your parents pit their kids against each other? Every morning, my parents made me and my younger brother compete for the right to be acknowledged as their child that day, because they believed only one of us could receive their love at a time. The loser had to pretend they didn't exist and wasn't allowed to speak, eat at the table, or even make eye contact with anyone until tomorrow's competition. My parents were behavioral psychologists who developed this theory that dividing parental affection created stronger, more independent children who wouldn't grow up needy or codependent. They'd published papers about selective attachment parenting using fake data and ran workshops for other twisted parents who wanted to emotionally destroy their kids in the name of science. They started this system when my brother Caleb was born and I was 4 years old. At first, the competitions were simple, like who could stay quiet longest or who drew the better picture. The winner got to sit on mom's lap and call her mommy, while the loser had to sit in the corner and watch. By the time I was 12 and Caleb was 8, the competitions had evolved into complex psychological warfare. We'd have to give presentations about why we deserved love more than our sibling, complete with PowerPoint slides listing each other's failures. The winner got a bedroom and the loser slept in the garage. The winner got 3 meals and the loser got whatever scraps were left. I couldn't do it to Caleb because he was just a little kid who needed his parents. So I threw every competition and spent years being invisible in my own home. I'd watch him eat dinner with our parents while I stood in the corner facing the wall because losers weren't allowed to contaminate family time with their presence. He'd try to sneak me food, but Dad would stop him saying, "Winners don't share with losers. That's how you become a loser too." Some nights Caleb would cry and beg them to let me join, but they'd explain that acknowledging my existence would weaken his development. The competitions got crueler as Caleb grew older and started understanding what winning meant for me. They made us write essays about why our sibling didn't deserve parental love and read them aloud. They forced us to destroy each other's possessions to prove we valued victory over sentiment. During one competition, they made us choose which family photos to burn, and Caleb sobbed as he threw pictures of us together into the fire. I kept losing on purpose, but it was killing me to watch my sweet brother slowly realize he had to hurt me to keep our parents' love. He started apologizing through his bedroom wall at night when he thought they couldn't hear. I found ways to secretly take care of Caleb without our parents knowing. I'd leave lunch money in his backpack and forge permission slips for his field trips. When he got sick, I'd sneak him medicine and leave it where he'd find it. I wanted him to know he was loved, even if I couldn't say it out loud. For months, I thought I was protecting him from the worst of their system by taking all the rejection myself. He still had parents who hugged him and helped with homework and came to his soccer games while I had learned to be completely self-sufficient and invisible. But our parents had cameras everywhere and had been documenting what they called my pathological need to nurture weakness. They confronted me with footage of every secret kindness and accused me of sabotaging their parenting method. "You're creating codependency," Mom screamed while showing clips of me sneaking Caleb food. "You're ruining our research." They decided my refusal to compete properly meant I needed more extreme motivation. They announced that next month's competition would be final and the loser would be legally emancipated and removed from the family forever. The winner would inherit everything and become their only child. Caleb broke down completely when they explained the new rules. He begged me to actually try this time because he couldn't lose me. "Please win," he sobbed that night through the wall. "I don't want to be their only kid. I just want my sister." But I knew they'd rigged it so I couldn't win. They'd been planning this all along, documenting years of evidence that I was unfit to be their child. The competition would just be theater to traumatize Caleb into never showing weakness again. I had 2 weeks to figure out how to save my brother from spending the rest of his childhood alone with parents who saw him as an experiment. I started recording everything with a hidden camera I'd bought, pretending to prepare for the competition while actually building evidence. I documented them coaching Caleb on what to say to destroy me and forging psychological evaluations claiming I was dangerous. The night before the final competition, I heard them in their office finalizing adoption papers for after my removal. They were planning to adopt a new child to compete against Caleb because single children become complacent without competition. I tried to run with Caleb, but they'd anticipated that and had already filed papers claiming I was kidnapping him. When morning came, they gathered us in the living room for our final competition. Caleb was shaking and could barely look at me. Dad set up his camera while Mom laid out the rules one last time. As she spoke, I noticed the doorbell camera had been disabled and their phones were turned off. They'd made sure no one could interrupt what they planned. Mom smiled at me with dead eyes and said, "Let's see if you finally learn to fight for something that matters." That's when I saw Dad pull out a locked metal box from behind his chair. "Winner gets what's inside," he said. "Loser gets what they deserve." Full story on the channel below.